teachers who matched with one of their students on Tinder. What's your story? I unmatched with them as soon as I realized who it was. We still had a month left in the semester, and she never brought it up. I teach in higher ed, so it's legal, but definitely not worth the headaches and professional fallout it could potentially cause. One thing some people don't realize is that legal equals ethical or professional. It might absolutely be legal to hook up with someone, but two consenting parties in any situation someone could call into question a power dynamic is just flat out bad news for multiple reasons. I've seen several people tank their careers, or leave a huge black mark on it, by playing this game and losing. This is pretty much spot on. I went to college at 27, and was older than 90% of the students. I think it was WR 121. The professor wasn't much older than me, and we got along well. At some point during the semester I needed some leeway in an assignment due date. Being a single dad and working full-time was stressful and my time management was screwed up for a couple weeks, and she was fine with it. When I turned the assignment in, she was really cool about it and we joked and she understood my situation as a total joke, not in a flirty way or anything, which she knew. I said, man, I should buy ya beer as a thank you or something to that effect. She said there's no way in hell she could do that with a current student and not be totally fucked career-wise. It just wasn't worth the risk for allegations of any misconduct. The age obviously isn't the problem, it's the power differential. Yup, I tell it as a funny story sometimes, but I'm amazed when some people will tell me she was 24 bro, totally cool to smash, or if any colleagues ask, just tell them you keep your personal life private. I do know people who have dated former students, and at best people think it's weird, but know others who weren't promoted or didn't have their contracts renewed. I don't have a problem with professors and former students hooking up. It's not like you have a lifetime romance span just because you were once in a student-teacher relationship. I agree that timing is a key. If say it is the day they graduate and then you go public, there's going to be some serious questions raised. If it's months or years after they've been your student, then it's fine. Tell that to that administration of any institution. They will disagree with you. If it's years after the fact, it's not a big deal, but every time I've seen it happen, it's been immediately after a course finished or a student graduated from an advisor's program. It's a definite career killer. If the couple stays together, the professor pretty much has to find a different institution to work at. I'm good friends with a professor who started dating a former undergrad a few months after she graduated. They got married about a year later. This was 12 years ago. He got tenure and a promotion not too long after he got married. It's a public university. I think this is fine. It's insane to me that a graduate and previous professor couldn't date. I mean, I get the issue if they're in their class because obviously grades can be affected, etc. But holy shit, what does it matter beyond that? And to be career ending. Wow, I think it's more the implication that the relationship was going on while it was improper, but they're going official now because they can. My roommate unknowingly matched with a guy who had just graduated from the school where I taught. It was a kind of funny passing comment of, oh, I matched with a guy who graduated from X school. We both assumed that it wouldn't be one of my students because I taught sophomores for the most part and this kid was a graduated senior, so we figured it was a funny coincidence rather than weird. She invited him over to our place to hang out. He walked in and introduced himself before he and my roommate went to hang out in her room and watch a movie. I had to text my roommate that the kid had obviously lied about something because A, he was current senior, not a graduated one, and B, I'd had him as a student in my newspaper class. Turned out he lied about his age, said he was 19, and pretended that he didn't know me despite the fact he had class with me. Nice kid, but he never got invited round again. Lied about his age and pretended he didn't know you. Nice kid. I fear it may have been an act. Hell of a prank, lol. Did your roommate report his account? Could have been 18 if he was a senior. I'm not sure if they bother to do anything unless the person is underage. I matched with one of my online professors last semester. He has a unique name, and once I realized who he was, I unmatched, even if it's legal. And at our ages, it would be. It's still a small town and I didn't want to bring the drama on us. Online but local, living in the same town. I'm enrolled at a community college, but some of my classes are online only, some are hybrid, and some are classroom. The professor is actually a really great human. I once drunk splurged on Tinder Gold, or whatever the fuck it's called, and noticed my current intern had swiped right on me. Yeah, I had to ignore that one for a while, all the while keeping that secret for the rest of semester. Some people swipe fast without pausing long on the pictures. When I was single, Tinder hunting, that's exactly what I did. Swipe right on everyone, and only look at profile if I match. That's how you get shadow banned, lol. That's how I met my wife. Actually, it was a rare occasion where I was looking at a couple profiles. I thought she was hot and maybe I was horny or something, probably was. So I super liked her. It was all during like 3 minutes of commercials on TV, so I forgot about it until the next morning when my phone said we matched, and I didn't even remember who she was until I opened it. But mostly I just pressed the like button as much as it would let me during the day and let the matches slowly happen. Not Tinder, but teacher related. I had a friend who was up for anything, flirted with everyone, hooked up with anyone. Give him a dare and he'd do it before you finished talking, full of crazy ideas and no limits. Any girl could walk up to him and kiss him out of the blue and he'd be on board immediately. Lots of fun, and we all assumed there would be nothing he'd say no to. Until one night we all walked into a bar in our early 20s and a girl danced up to him for some close quarters work. Without a pause he immediately turned around, handed his full drink to a stranger, said we're leaving, and walked out without turning around to see if we were behind him. After about half a block of fast walking he told us she had been a student of his last year and still attended his school. He teaches grade 10 math, even though drinking age is only 19 here. She obviously got in with fake ID. One of the group made a joke about him getting so freaked out he must have been in trouble for hooking up with a student before. And the lecture he rounded on him about taking advantage of kids sexually when you're in a position of authority made it clear that he wasn't scared of repercussions. It was his limit, the one thing he wouldn't do, ever. The world would be in a better place if more people in authority shared your friend's viewpoint. When you described your friend as being up for anything, I thought he was going to be the student in this scenario. He was usually the one acting like a teenager, so it was interesting trying to picture him in class, like the blind leading the blind. Oh damn, this just happened to a regular at my local. We are there having drinks, as we often do, and he starts telling me that he matched with his 8th grade English teacher, who was 24 when he was 13, not a crazy age difference. So they chatted and laughed about the coincidence and how weird it was, but they ended up talking for hours about life, how they're both divorced. Decided what the hell and agreed to meet at our bar that night. She was there like an hour later. She seemed super fun and looked great for 46. They sat next to me and my wife and we all had fun talking, but then they moved to a booth to be alone. 90 minutes and good amount of shots later, they are kissing in the booth. About 10 minutes later, they are paying their tab and ordering a car to the nearest bedroom. It's been about 3 weeks and they are still hanging out. They really like each other. It's kinda creepy but sweet. He seems happier than usual. I feel like she gets a pass. It was 20-ish years ago. I'm sure they barely remember each other, and it's not like they had been interacting since. He's essentially someone who bears a passing resemblance to a student she once taught, given how much changes from 1335-ish. If he's happy and she's happy, I say let him have it. Same. We are telling him all the time that she's great and to see where it goes. And yeah, 20 years is a very long time. Clean slate. But still, how did you meet? Will always be an interesting tale. My aunt's husband was her younger brother's, my uncle's, elementary school principal ... and expelled him for bad behavior. It's one of the biggest jokes in my family.